Good evening and welcome to the Fate of Drakkenheim. This is the Dungeon Dudes weekly Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition live stream campaign. My name is Monty Martin, running our game tonight as Dungeon Master.
And I'm Kelly McLaughlin, playing Wilhelm von Kessel, the human swashbuckler rogue. And we're joined today by our good friends.
Jill Donitis, playing Rudy Whitaker, the Shifter Eldritch Knight.
And Joe O'Gorman playing Wrath, the Aasimar Warlock.
Thank you for joining us once again. If you're just tuning in for the very first time, welcome. We are the Dungeon Dudes, and Kelly and I post new videos every other Tuesday and every Thursday on our YouTube channel where we cover everything D&D, including advice for players and guides for DMs. So be sure to check us out over at youtube.com/dungeondudes.
You can also join us on Tuesday nights when we record the campaign live on Twitch. You can check us out from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/dungeon_dudes. You can also watch the video episodes of the show on YouTube or check us out as an audio-only podcast. So make sure to listen along as we go on our crazy adventures.
And as a special note, we have moved our start time to 7 p.m., closing up at 10 p.m. Eastern Time for the foreseeable future. We just had a couple shifting personal schedules, so this was the best way to accommodate that. So for those of you that are catching the show live and are logging in at 6 o'clock on Twitch wondering, where are these guys? We're going to be starting at 7 for the foreseeable future. We'll let you know if we do revert back to the 6 p.m. start time. But so again, it's just to accommodate all of us, and lives shift around, right? So that's that'll be that for the foreseeable future. In any case, for now, let us discover the fate of Drakkenheim.
Drakkenheim is no more. The devastation which fell upon that accursed place left a kingdom in ruin. Now, horrors lurking in the haze grow ever more great and terrible, while simmering tensions between rival factions boil over into outright war. The power of monarchs, mages, and priests hangs in the balance. 6 unlikely heroes join forces to confront the coming chaos. They shall decide, once and for all, the fate of Drakkenheim.
Welcome back to Drakkenheim. When last we left our heroes, Wilhelm, Rudy, and Wrath had gathered the forces of the Hooded Lanterns and the mercenaries of the Steelfangs to launch an attack once again to reclaim the garrison of Drakkenheim to use as a foothold in their quest to seat Wilhelm upon the throne of Drakkenheim itself. Well, Veo, Peludo, and Sebastian are off on their own quest, and we will be finding out how that goes in just perhaps in just a little while. Our heroes have now captured Shepherd's Gate once more, destroying the reanimated garrison that had occupied the gate. Now, as a group of you, having secured the gate, the reserve force of Hooded Lanterns and mercenaries advance up through Shepherd's Way towards the squat tower, led by Elias Drexel. Immediately, as the rest of the soldiers go down through the levels of the gate to ensure that they're clear of any other hostiles, it is an opportunity for the three of you if you would like to take a short rest.
I would like.
Please.
So much so.
Awesome. The three of you, a small fire gets lit upon the top of one of the towers, and some rations get broken out as a few soldiers share their meals, and the fallen are carted off. Here now, from the tower, you can make out all the rooftops of the city of Drakkenheim and see the castle looming in the distance. But notably, it's about midday at this point, and the haze hangs thinly over the city. And you can see further along Shepherd's Way the towers of the Drakkenheim garrison just in the distance, because the construction and the layout of the of Shepherd's Gate and the garrison are meant to support each other. So it's not too far away where you can see the several towers, still the ragged flags of the Hooded Lantern still flapping in the wind, even though it was abandoned by the forces, their forces several weeks ago. As you gather around on the top of one of the towers to take your meals, as several other Hooded Lanterns begin shifting around the siege equipment that was left behind here, scavenging together what other weapons. Elias Drexel is escorted through the gates and back up to check in with the three of you.
We're on the top of one of the towers, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I imagine that Wilhelm has been up here for some time, and I'm observing towards the garrison, looking for any signs of movement or activity. And even if I see it, I'm not really, I'm just taking mental note as I sit with my food, rest, and watch the garrison intently.
Awesome. Once in a while, you catch the sight of some flutters of movement throughout the city streets, the odd rattling in the distance, perhaps something slinking from rooftop to rooftop. Elias Drexel approaches the three of you and says, "Excellent work. We should be able to hold here for the intervening period. How do you want to proceed?"
I mean, I think we should at least send maybe a scout or two to see what's up ahead and get a better idea about what's going on in the streets. What do you guys think?
There was that one soldier who seemed eager. Sten. We could send Sten ahead and have him scout, see if he can see anything.
With respect, my liege, the boy is a good reservist, but I wouldn't necessarily send him with a vanguard.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you sent your best troops with us on this mission. I assumed that Sten was one of them.
Well, my king, we have to have a balance.
Right.
We need soldiers to hold the line, and we need others to take the field. The way that I've typically organized things is my best and bravest I've put on the front lines, and those who are still gaining experience, I generally hold them back to keep them in reserve positions. If you want to commit all of our soldiers to this next effort, we could, but there's always a risk in sending large numbers of soldiers charging through. When about 2 years ago, when we took the garrison for the first time, it was a very difficult operation. We had to spend a lot of lives to do it.
Well, we're hoping not to spend as many lives this time. I don't think we're planning to send all of the troops through to the garrison. We need to hold this current position. And Elias, I think you're best suited to maintain control here, while the three of us head towards the garrison. Again, probably with the same group that we took the gate with. No more, no less. We lost a few good men, but most survived, and now that they have followed us into battle once, I see no reason not to keep the rally going and have that same group follow us again.
Certainly, I can certainly replenish the ranks of for any of them that have fallen or injured.
I will give a speech before we head out to make sure that they are ready to go.
Very well. I will start organizing in the event that we cannot make any further progress. Remember, we need to ensure that the stockades are still intact. If they're not, there's almost no point in taking the garrison again.
Right. So that involves getting into the main keep and down into the basements below. Precisely.
I can show you here the exact layout. He pulls out his maps and diagrams again and lays them out before you of the garrison proper. Just give me one moment to move you all over. Okay. This is the garrison as it was. Oop. Pardon me. There we go. Now, here are the front gates. This is the Lord Commander's Tower. Those are where the Lord Commander's quarters used to be before the city was overtaken by the haze, but we also have the other offices, the war room, and meeting rooms in that tower. Below the main level brings us into the first room of the prison, and then into the stockades. There is a small office there where the gates that lead into the prisons are. If those gates are still intact, well, then we should be able to proceed.
Well, again, Rudy, I will want your guidance on this, but I do have boots that might allow me to get up on top of the Lord Commander's tower and just be able to maybe drop a rope down for Rudy and Wrath to climb up with me. And then from there, we can just hop down and right into the tower. Perhaps putting men at the front and back gate to secure either fleeing monsters, if there are any, or if we find ourselves in trouble, we can yell out to storm the gates and hit them from 3 different sides.
The only report that we have so far is we were expecting ratlings to be infesting the garrison. But oddly enough, my soldiers have reported that there are no ratlings, well, living ones, that are around the garrison. They've noted that there's actually a large number of ratling corpses, which is quite peculiar given the fact that ratlings often eat their own dead.
Are they in a pile? Because the last time we found a pile of corpses, it was terrifying.
Several are strewn about the streets, and several of the other corpses appear to be still littering the courtyard as well as the some of the towers and areas. The only peculiar thing about the scouting report is that it didn't seem like some of the bodies had any visible wounds on them.
Well, normally if ratlings were there and they're not anymore, it might mean there's a bigger predator out on the loose in that area. You best be careful.
One of the soldiers speaks up from beside the commander and says some of the other scouts said that they thought they heard howls, screams even, or even like it was an echo on the air of just the old soldiers.
Some sort of magic happening? I mean, you said there was a delirium sludge in some of the reports, so who knows what might have been molded and changed in that area.
Yes, the ratlings tunneled up from underneath, and the area has now been left flooded in the central courtyard. So we'll see what lies there. none of my scouts have gotten any closer than that. I haven't sent anyone in to actually observe. They've just been observing from the rooftops as close as they can.
That would be the most logical first approach.
Mm-hmm.
We investigate the stockades. If they are... Can we remove the delirium after?
Yes, we should be able to remove the delirium afterwards.
If they are not completely overwhelmed, then it continues to be a useful resource. Also, Wilhelm, the creature that threw bodies at us, it was awful. But now, and I touch like a piece of stone, and it just like hovers. My body has mutated. I, for some reason, can climb walls. I don't know if you heard me before, but I made this incredibly different noise when I was climbing. It was almost
Yes, you
animal-like.
sounded like a large insect, and it was upsetting.
So I too can help scale the wall.
That's excellent.
Just throw me down a rope and I'll be fine. Don't worry about me.
Rudy, I rarely worry about you.
We're not worried about you.
Raph, do you need medical attention?
I probably do.
How many levels of contamination do you have?
Currently, I'm rocking numero 2.
Okay.
With the spider climbing mutation, as a bunch of little hairs stick out, and I'm able to spider wrap.
I'm going to recommend that before we go on this expedition, we each take one of our aqua expergos. We're going to be going deeper into Drakkenheim, into the haze, and Wrath, the last thing I need is for you to turn into some sort of multi-legged chest, mouth, eyeball monster.
Agreed. He's scary enough as he is, isn't he?
With more arms, I could cast more spells.
I don't know if that works.
It might scale that way. I do not know. I must know.
Different time, Wrath, a different time.
I agree. We should prepare for whatever has driven out the hooded lanterns and killed these rattlings is something that is of the haze.
The men said that, or the soldier said that it sounded like the echoes of former friends or other soldiers.
Well, it might be, I don't know, who knows, Wrath, you might be the expert on this, but with the delirium sludge, potentially in there, who knows if time and space might be molded, right?
Elias, how many hooded lanterns didn't make it out?
We were able to evacuate most of the forces from the garrison. The largest contingent were left behind here at Shepherd's Gate. They were the ones that were holding the gate as we fled the garrison itself proper. That said, a lot of hooded lanterns and a lot of soldiers have given their lives defending the garrison over the years. And the soldiers are superstitious. Many of them do talk about being haunted by the memory of their fallen brothers and sisters.
Well, if there's anything I know about delirium, it's that any corpse not burned is probably now an enemy that we're going to have to face. And for all I know, maybe even ones that were burned. There could be ghosts or spirits or...
Burning ghosts.
Burning ghosts. Those are worse than normal ghosts.
Yeah.
Raph, thank you.
Yeah, we talked almost one full day of school was on burning ghosts. It was probably the most interesting day. It's like the only thing I took away from
I
school.
was gonna say you might pay attention on that day.
I really, really only paid attention that one day.
This is the first time you've mentioned actually being in school, Wrath. Well, maybe not the first time, but it's sparse.
An extent of my training was done outside of school with Bruce.
With that,
Most of it.
as you finish up recuperating, I hope you guys have all spent whatever hit dice you want to spend and whatnot, and patch yourself up.
Healing potion.
Aqua Spurgo.
And
Okay.
yes, 1 Aqua Spurgo.
Okay. All right. So, that has you all nicely patched up. Then, in that case, is anyone still not at full health after all that, or is everyone fully patched?
I have 65 of
Okay.
83.
You need
Okay.
more health potions?
I could actually. I think I have some ointment.
I was gonna say I have some ointment.
I could do.
and
You know what?
some
I have
greater
one.
healing.
I have 1 ointment left. Maybe I should save it though.
I have 4. Do you want some of my ointment?
Rub it on my hands and see if it gets rid of these things.
But you need the climbing ability for the mission.
Yeah, here, let me rub it on your
Rub it
face.
on my face. Thank you.
Hey, put it on like I'm putting on sunscreen
You're rough.
for a
You're
child.
rough too.
Like,
yeah,
you're fine. Leave a bit across.
It's like
your
in my
nose.
nose. Yeah, it's in my nose. It's my eye.
Okay. So,
Thank you, Rudy.
Rob.
as a follow-up question to that, then would you guys so how are you going to proceed? Are you going to just the three of you head scout ahead, or do you want to bring some of the soldiers with you, and if so, what do you want them to do?
Rudy, this is your
Yeah.
wheelhouse. However, as stated, the most important mission is to discover the use of the stockades, and any soldiers that bring near it may be just unnecessary danger. I do not know if we are capable enough, but maybe the three of us discovering the use of the stockades might be the most important thing first, then sending for help.
I mean, we still have our flare guns.
Yes,
Correct?
correct.
Okay. I say we do an initial look in the to get to the stockades, make sure it's doing well. I say we keep the soldiers around closer to the gates if they need to barge in and help us out, but I don't want them trudging through that sludge if they don't need to. But I think having them nearby would not be the end of the world. And I think the soldiers that were helping us with the gate, they could use a little rest. Let's swap lines and get the other ones helping us.
Two advantages that we do have here. Shepherd's Gate is close enough to the garrison that we can actually see signal flares from each other's points. So on our end, we will notify you with red or black flares if we come under attack here. That's entirely possible that we could get cut off. Second of all, the towers, the guard towers that are on the sides, as well as each of the towers of the garrison have alarm bells, and if you ring them, they can be heard all throughout the city.
Okay.
Is there a chance that could attract unwanted attention?
Yes, there is. So just be careful about that. We generally haven't used them for the most part, but it is within our capability to signal each other back and forth.
Well,
The other
I
thing we
will
should consider is having a few of, we take the main tower and have a few soldiers stationed on each of the other towers. You know, they got grappling hooks that they can go up with. Just to have a few men with us while we go inside the tower, because we don't know what's going on outside, what's coming our way.
A key bit of information that you may not want to ignore. The gate doors are both battered down. So both sets of doorways leading into the fortification have been knocked down already. We'll need to repair them. That shouldn't be something... I've already prepared several of our engineers to fix them as quickly as possible once we've secured it. But the front entrance, the gates are unbarred and opened.
If things do get too dicey in there, just remember rule number 70. Retreat is not the tactic of cowards, but of the wise. It is always an option. With us being in eyesight of the gate, we don't need to complete the mission in one go. If things get out of hand, we can retreat to the gate, recuperate with the hooded lanterns, and push forward in force.
It's always possible.
I feel confident in our ability to infiltrate and discover the usefulness of the garrison. If it is unusable, we will discuss the course of action.
If the gate is unusable, signal us immediately, because the unfortunate reality is that we will want to still hold Shepherd's Gate, but holding Shepherd's Gate without the garrison is going to be significantly more difficult.
All right, so we're going to go in the main tower. Again, I don't think it would be take a handful, maybe 2 or 3 soldiers each of the other towers, just to keep an eye out, keep them closer. That way we're not taking everybody with us, and then we let everyone know what's going on.
All right, so you want to... The 3 of you... So let me just make sure that I understand the plan so I set up everything correctly. The 3 of you are going to target the Lord Commander's tower, and you want to have several of your soldiers come in from the north and south gates at the same time.
I was even thinking grappling hooks to take over these 2 towers, just to have eyes up top.
Okay.
If they are...
But only a few soldiers, and I think the rest are waiting in reserve for our signal.
Yeah.
Before we go in, though, I would like to give an inspiring speech to the 3 of us and a few of the soldiers as well, just to...
The ones that are coming with us?
Yeah, maybe the ones that are coming. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, the stealthiest ones.
Whoever
No
the
one allowed.
stealthiest soldiers are.
We go, who's stealthy? And if anyone says anything, they're not allowed to come. They have to silently raise their hand.
The Elias Drexel puts forward several of the soldiers from the Vanguard detachments.
First test.
These ones will be very capable of dealing with this. And they've gone on many patrols. They've been some of the scouts that have been scouting the area. They'll be the best ones equipped for the job.
Dare I ask their names?
How
many are there?
There are 6 of the soldiers in the group that he's put forward for you.
I'm gonna make you work, Monty.
You're gonna make me work? Yeah. Okay.
I'm not going into battle without knowing the names of the people we're leading. That seems rude.
Only 6.
Okay.
Yeah, at least it's not 20.
Mm-hmm. The group of soldiers. He introduced some of them. This is Luther Hess, Elena Kruger, Tressa Metterling, Simon Vasilisk, Wagner, Greta, and Alicia. They've been excellent. They're veterans. They've fought in a lot of our battles, and they bled quite a lot for us.
I'm sorry, for all y'all. You know, I appreciate you coming with us and volunteering yourselves. I don't mean to put you in more harm's way, but the only way we're going to do this is if we have the most capable people with us on this.
Now listen up. Your king speaks.
Oh.
Did you need water, my king?
No, I'm good. Thank you, Wrath.
Okay, just cleared your throat again for like six, 7
I'm
times.
Wrath, I'm not used to giving speeches. I'm trying here, okay? Soldiers, we go now into the city of Drakkenheim. I trust you more than anybody else to be prepared for what we're going to face there. But always remember 2 important rules. Rule number 91, be aware of your limitations. And rule number 89, do not fear failure, fear not trying. Today, we try to take back the garrison.
Maybe. We might get it. We might not. You know.
Wrath, don't. We will get it.
Yeah.
So, some of these soldiers have been put through their paces several times. They've had rough experiences, but it's hardened them to the horrors of the city. They'll do well for you.
So Wrath, Rudy, and myself all get 13 temp HP.
Woo!
And so do Greta, Luther, and Wagner.
Okay.
Greta's my mom's name, so nothing bad can happen to her.
Greta!
Oh, that's Kelly's actual, like, not Wilhelm's. No, that was out of character.
Yeah, but you can still hold Greta's lifeless corpse. Not that it's going to be that way.
Oh my god.
Greta.
No, I can't. Oh no.
Um,
Hi, Mom.
I do
Thanks
not
for watching
have
the show.
a great bedside manner. Greta, I'm sure you will survive.
all right. Well,
I have spider hands.
I have spider boots.
You too can have spider hands if you touch the black goo.
all right.
Maybe leave the chatting of the locals to Wilhelm. You know, he
Right.
did a good job.
Great
Was that
Scaring him.
Was that a
Wilhelm.
better inspiring speech?
Wilhelm,
Very inspiring.
I feel your confidence has grown, and you didn't just read off a list of rules, which I found engaging. Well done.
And if somebody asks me if I'm the new king, I will say yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Confidence is key.
Yeah, it's
Hey, that's one of my rules.
There you go. What rule is that?
Oh boy.
Look at me
no.
spouting out these rules. You've made an impact.
Now I need to find it.
I should copy your rules into my book as a backup.
Yes, you should.
Does that make them magically binding or something?
Interesting.
I don't think it does, but you know,
Rule 52, confidence is key. Found it.
okay.
Confidently. You confidently found it.
All right.
One advantage we do have is,
But because we've named them, I'm putting names on the tokens, so everyone's gonna see who's gonna live and who dies now.
Save Greta at all costs.
Yeah, this is.
you will try to survive. What was your rule, Wilhelm? You may try.
No, it was a good. It's do not fear failure, fear not trying.
Yes. What was the other one?
Be aware of your limitations. As in, like, I don't know. Don't try to be a hero today.
If you cannot climb a wall, a sheer wall, like
Then
I can,
don't.
then do not.
They have grappling
Because
hooks.
you
I thought that's
won't.
why we were bringing them, is because they could climb the
Yeah,
wall.
let's get things on the ground. Okay, so we got Greta here, we got Volkner here, we got Arena here, we got Tressa, we got Luther, and we got Alicia. There you go.
It hurts a lot more when they're named.
I've done this myself.
We have become close to them. The bond is real. Who did you choose to inspire?
Greta,
And that's an extra 13 hit points?
13 hit points. For,
Okay.
is there a Simon?
There's a Luther. I think you said Luther.
I said
There.
Luther. I had
Greta,
Simon written down.
Luther, and
Maybe I lied.
Oh, you know what? Maybe
Yeah.
I might have missed
some guys sitting off on
Yeah.
the side. You're like, you.
Was
All
there
right,
enough
Greta,
time for a short
Luther
rest for
and
me to
Faulkner.
get Houdini back?
Yep.
Okay, I just gotta make sure.
It's Greta, Luther, and Faulkner all have 13 extra temp HP.
Okay.
What usually happens is, Rudy, we perform I begin my ritual for Bruce,
Mhm.
and you can always join in and do
I'll do
your
my
own
own.
version. Please use mine. It is a gateway.
I don't want to summon the same
Okay.
familiar that you
So
have.
Luther, Greta, and Volkner have the extra, but Tressa,
Trust
Arena, and
me.
Alicia have. I think I actually had Simon, not Alicia. So I'll just grab. There we
I
go.
just don't get my spell slots back, so I teach a spell slot to get him. But it's worth it.
There
No,
we go.
you. Oh, you're gonna use the spell slot. Can you
I have
cast
to
it
because
as?
it's a short rest.
Okay, so
I don't get my spell slots back.
okay, you ready? You ready to roll with that?
Yes. Great.
Now, Rudy, may I suggest a course of action?
Corpse?
Of action.
We may want to ensure that the battlements aren't taken before we send the troops in.
All right, so
If we send them, should we have them wait
Let it-
outside the walls or immediately climb?
Send one of your familiars to give us a bird's eye view of the area.
Bruce,
can-
do you mind?
you got Bruce? Okay.
Okay. Are you going to look through their eyes? Because if so, you'll need to get within 100 feet, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay 100 feet of Bruce, so I can get most of the way in. But I'm gonna start on top of this.
So sorry, we got a little bit of ahead of ourselves with me
Okay.
setting up the tokens. Are you guys going to set out down Shepherd's Way towards the garrison?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, with your flare guns in hand, after finishing up your rest, the plan set, the group of you head along the rooftops and the streets towards the garrison. The veteran Hooded Lantern soldiers are very experienced at making their way from rooftop to rooftop across this way. You can tell as they move that they've done this run hundreds of times. The route between, there was a long period of time where the route between Shepherd's Gate and the Drakkenheim garrison was very, very safe. In fact, there was a period of time where it was almost like they were right beside each other, but some mysterious force decided to reposition things slightly because they thought that made it more interesting.
Such a magical force.
And so the journey down Shepherd's Way leads towards the road from Shepherd's Gate leads directly towards the garrison proper. And so as you come up through the ruined streets, you can see the squat building that is the Drakkenheim garrison. It is as you've seen from the diagrams before, it's a small fortress that looms over the streets, and its towers jut out jutting out above the thick walls, and you can see already broken out in the gate as the gates smashed out from the walls themselves. There are the several circular bastion towers that you can still see the ballistas and the hoardings that have been set up atop the tower walls to give the Hooded Lanterns extra defenses. One of the towers, the square armory tower, actually just has a proper roof. It doesn't have a battlement. It just is a fully enclosed building that has been fortified and reinforced. There was a time when you would have seen Hooded Lanterns patrolling atop the walls and towers here, but that is a time no longer. The walls themselves are about 30 feet high and about 5 feet thick, with wooden scaffolds on the interiors, and ladders and stairs connecting them on the inside. From the outside, however, the towers range in height from 50 to 60 feet tall. The area around the garrison has the scars of numerous battles, because all throughout this street, the Hooded Lanterns have actually had previously over the years barricaded off several of the side streets and placed defensive barricades and other fortifications, walls of sandbags or other barriers along Shepherd's Way to make the route as safe as they possibly could for themselves, traveling from the gate to the garrison. And in fact, there is a rough ditch. You can see in places there's a ditch that has been dug around the garrison. In some places that it is mostly flooded or caved in over, where the Hooded Lanterns had set up like walls of spikes or other things to prevent creatures from running up over the walls, but these have been largely demolished. And you can see scattered about and entangled in several of these traps and other defenses are the corpses of several ratlings.
I say we hide on a nearby rooftop, or perhaps behind a building, and send forth one of the familiars to scout and get a lay of the area.
All right. The other, so you can pretty easily take positions up on this larger building over here. It doesn't quite, this is the remnants of one of the outer support buildings. So there were several buildings that were outside the garrison that when Drakkenheim was a living city, these buildings were used as extra offices, warehouses, and storage spaces for the city watch. This is one of these buildings. It's pretty beaten down, but you can take positions up on top of the roof. It's not higher than the walls, though, so you can't. So it's very clear that the buildings that were built around the garrison, none of the rooftops are so high that you could see over the walls.
Security.
I'm probably going to position us towards the back then, so that we're out of, if there are any creatures on top of the towers, they would have the high ground.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put us towards the back of the building, just so that we're like on the slope to hide from view.
Yeah, on the opposite slope.
I see what you mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
And against the front there, Rudy, if together I can go relatively east, left with Bruce. You can head. I'll go left, you go right.
Okay.
There we go. I say commander stuff.
Right,
I think I have to talk to you like that. But really, I can just be like, I'm going that way.
Okay. So, Wrath, you're going to send Bruce to fly up on top of the armory tower?
Correct.
Okay.
Through his eyes. And I just flop them beside you.
Yeah, the three of us have like crawled up and are peering over the top of the roof, and the two of you just...
Bruce's flight is more like a cat just leaping unimpeded through the air, and he leaps from one rooftop to the other atop the armory tower. And looking down, you can see the field before you. So I will just pull things out just a little bit here. So you can see how things have changed. First of all, what you can see is the tree that was once in the center of the courtyard. There is a gaping hole that bubbles forth a pool of thick delirium sludge. It is reflective and glowing, and the aura of purple light shimmers all throughout the rest of the garrison. As you peer through Bruce's eyes, you can hear in almost reflected tones of light, looking through Bruce's eyes, you see the shimmering form of a translucent, purple glowing hooded lantern soldier walk through the walls, walk through the door that leads out from the commander's tower.
Like literally through the door?
He walks through he's carrying a crossbow, and the man whose features are haggard walks out of the door. The door doesn't open. He just walks out of it, and with a shimmering incorporeal glide walks across the tower. Walks across, the battlements.
Along the top.
Yep. Yeah, kind of coming out around there and walking down like so.
Is the top of the Lord Commander's tower higher than the battlements, though?
The Lord Commander's tower is the highest tower. So,
Yeah.
So from where Bruce is positioned, he can make out like the weaponry that is up there, but can't quite see the very top of it. You do see, however, that in the pool there is movement in the pool of delirium sludge as well. Something is, there's something underneath the surface.
A ghost?
I can, continuing to move around, I'm just going to double check. The range is, I can probably make
100
it to...
feet that you can see through their senses.
So I can probably get to this tower if I have Bruce start to make his way away from the soldier.
And Rudy, what would you like to do with Houdini?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to see based on I can get. This might be silly, but I'm gonna make Houdini fly over the middle.
Okay, Houdini flies right over the middle.
So brave.
Brave little.
Brave little
Now,
Houdini.
Houdini cannot see invisible creatures and objects. So as you fly over, Houdini does not see any figures walking on the walls.
Houdini's like, there's no one here.
Yeah. But you do see the shimmering pool of the delirium sludge in the middle, and definitely there is something bubbling and gurgling beneath.
I summon Houdini back to me.
Beneath, as well, you see that there are the scattered remains in the courtyard, and along the towers and walls, there are the remains of dead ratlings all throughout. They're laying there motionless. Almost you look carefully enough to see that they're not breathing, but there's no visible wounds on their bodies.
Looking through Bruce's eyes, does Bruce see any other ethereal creatures, any more invisible creatures?
What is the range on Bruce's sight?
That is going to be 60 feet.
Bruce, from Bruce's current position, he can see, perceiving through Bruce's senses, there is indeed at least one other figure on the top of the tower over here. And that is, she's standing there, and she looks like she is gently counting the quivers in her case of crossbow bolts. You can see this ethereal figure through Bruce's vision that you can see.
When looking at the corpse, the pile of rattling corpses.
Mm-hmm.
I want to look for any rattling ghost things.
As Bruce flies between the corpses of the rattlings, you notice that upon their bodies, though they don't have physical wounds, several of them are leaking like an ectoplasm of a similar material to that composes the spirits. And again, this is something that is only visible to you through Bruce's vision.
I'm going to recall Bruce.
Oh, you're back.
And share. So, the place looks quiet.
Oh, good.
Although there are ethereal versions of the hooded lanterns.
That's bad.
They appear to be stuck in some kind of after now.
That's good.
It's like they are unsettled. It must be the delirium.
I'm wondering. I got an idea. Could they be the ones that were killing the rattlings and protecting the fort?
Perhaps the soldiers of the Hooded Lanterns who remain are blindly dedicated to their former jobs protecting the garrison. Knowing the way Drakkenheim works, I assume that means they'll protect it from us as well.
Well, I turn to the Hooded Lanterns and I say, any of you outrank these ghosts?
They one of the soldiers says, Simon speaks up, we can't see them.
Oh.
Yeah. So to be clear, the spirits were only visible
Bruce.
to Bruce because of Bruce's ability to see invisible creatures.
Before you.
Right. So like Bruce can see even from the rooftops. There's one of these soldiers that is walking along the battlements, but the rest of you can't. It's like there's nothing there.
This is going to prove problematic for defending ourselves against targets that we cannot see. How do you fight what you can't see?
I have an idea.
Oh.
I have a plan. And Monty, if you could feed me an Elias Drexel line.
You need an Elias Drexel line.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you gotta put your voice down like this and just say gritty things about determination and bravery and give and your lives for the cause and loyalty.
The Wrath's hair disappears, and I know it's a big deal because it's permanent. And before you is the face of Elias Drexel, leader of the Hooded Lanterns. Now listen up. I will tell those guys. Don't you laugh at me. I am the leader of the Hooded Lanterns, and I have grit and determination. They will stand down. I will relieve them of their posts, of their duties, because they have fought bravely. They have killed many rattlings and defended our home. And now they must leave. And while I do that, you, Wilhelm, go up the back and infiltrate. If you start getting stabbed by invisible swords, you're in a bad way. It will be a sign. It's not a sliver. It's not a fan. It's real. You're getting.
So do I go along with you? Do I go with him? Do I stay here with these folks?
I can. I guess I will take. I will take the Hooded Lanterns that we brought, and Rudy, it may be best if you travel with Wilhelm.
All right.
And all we must do is decide. We must figure out if the stockades are free. If they are not, what is our code word, Wilhelm?
Potatoes.
You yell potatoes if we must retreat. I will just run away if the guards, but I will hopefully draw the attention of these ethereal creatures for you to go in and check.
You really put me on the spot there, Wrath.
Yeah, you just had to come up with one word. It's you just gave a huge speech, and I feel energized by it. You can do it.
The best I could do is potatoes.
Don't look down. Look at me. I am Elias Drexel, leader of the Hooded Lanterns.
He's technically not. Technically, the leader of the Hooded Lanterns is Veo, but
I am Elias Drexel, former leader of the Hooded Lanterns. Do I still have rank?
Yeah.
I mean,
yes.
These ghosts might only remember Elias depending on where they're from when they're died. So, I mean, good call. Not doing that.
Wrath, are you just going to march in the front door?
I will take the battalion of Hooded Lanterns and I will call to them outside of the gate.
All right. If things go sideways, then potatoes.
I turn to Greta.
Mm-hmm.
Greta, front and center.
She nods and she says, I'm really sorry. I know you're not the Lord Commander, but sorry, the Lieutenant Commander, but it's really uncanny.
Yes, it's for the purpose of this, just let your imagination run wild. Greta, I must insist. Is there any mantras or chants that you as Hooded Lanterns would call out to when you arrived from victory through battle, or as a sign to call down arms?
She says, right. So typically when we were returning to, if we were returning to camp, we would have oftentimes we would have a password for the day or a call phrase for that day of some kind. And we
really hope it's potatoes.
But whenever the Lord Commander would lead us into battle, he would usually tell us to give our hearts for Drakkenheim, or that always got me, at least.
Thank you, Greta. That is very helpful. Do you understand? Greta, Teresa, Irina, Simon, Luther, and Volkner, the strongest of all. You will follow me to the front gate. We will call out these ethereal former comrades, and we will ask them to stand their arms down. If we are discovered, we retreat back to this place. Agreed?
Wrath,
Right.
give us a few minutes head start so that Rudy and I can drop the rope and start getting upwards to the top of that tower. Once you see us climbing, march.
I will look to the sky, and when you send Houdini straight up, I will know that you are in position.
I can do that.
Okay, so do you want to move yourselves into position then?
So,
So you hop down off the roofs.
Or are we going all the way? I was worried we'd have to sneak.
Oh, I mean, if we have to sneak, we have to sneak.
Well, how would you like to proceed? That's what I want to know. So you're gonna Rudy and Wilhelm, you two are gonna move up to your goal is to move up over there.
Yeah.
Okay. And Wrath, where you're gonna go up over here with all. Are you gonna bring all 6 of the soldiers with you?
yeah.
Okay.
They're gonna form behind me because I have to have some credibility. You know, like
Okay.
you gotta. Yeah, I can't just show up alone. I gotta show that I got hooded lanterns
Okay.
with me.
Wilhelm and Rudy, the two of you, if you proceed with stealth, both of you can give me stealth checks, please.
20.
$18.
Okay. The two of you, hugging along the wall, you move up along the side and get to the base of the commander's tower. Wrath, you and the hooded lanterns proceed towards the gate. The lanterns almost getting in formation, and Greta would say, typically when we come towards the gate, we would usually present our lanterns and call out our name and rank and say, returning to garrison.
I seem to have misplaced my lantern.
The hooded lanterns, usually one of them always carries one in their pack, so they pass
That's
you
what I
one.
needed. That's what I needed. Thank you. That's huge for my character.
All right, Wrath.
So we're in formation, but we are staying like behind the building. Like we're in that. That's where we're gonna move to as soon as we see Houdini's.
As soon as you see Houdini tell you? Okay.
Yeah. So otherwise, we're gonna be kind of like off to the side.
Okay.
But as soon as we see the
signal.
Yeah. Bruce says, he warned you that there is actually a pair of these spirits that are outside the front gate on the ground.
Thank you, Bruce. You will be my eyes, as you have been my knowledge. And my favorite cat.
All right. Rudy and Wilhelm, what are the two of you going to do?
I'm tying a knot between Rudy's rope and my rope, making the rope 60 feet long. And I am going to start walking up the side of the tower with my boots, holding the rope.
Okay. You proceed up the side of the tower, holding onto the rope.
I'm going to go until I reach the top, and since I know that the creatures are invisible, I'm going to very quietly, I'm going to try to, so I'm basically I'm using my boots, but I'm kind of Spider-Man crawling still up this wall to try to stay as close to it as possible. And when I get to the top, rather than hopping over, I'm going to stay on the outside and start tying the rope off onto one of the...
Okay, between the crenellations. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All of you can roll me a d6.
Yep. A 2.
3.
5.
Okay. Wilhelm, you tie off the rope. What do you do next?
I give it a few tugs to make sure it's good, and I look down and I give Rudy the thumbs up.
Okay.
I start to climb up the rope.
Okay. Rudy, you climb up the rope.
And I want to get almost to the top. Again, not over. Because I don't want to hop over and there be a ghost there. So as soon as I get almost to the top, I make Houdini fly up into the air.
Okay. Houdini flies up into the air, and Wrath, you see that happen. Back over to you.
I approach the gate, disguised as the Great One, Elias Drexel. I present my lantern.
As you walk towards with the lantern lit, the fires of the lantern reflect off of the spirit in front of you, as if the symbol of the City Watch reveals the ghosts themselves. The fiery form reflected that reflects before you, you can almost see this before you, what you see are just licks of flame that, as the light of the fire catches on where the ghosts stand, it's almost like a fiery wisp that you see, but the most intense thing that you see in front of you is actually their burning heart. And you hear this whisper cry out to you and say, "Halt! Who goes there?"
I am Lieutenant Commander Elias Drexel of the Hooded Lanterns. I'm returning to garrison.
Make a deception check.
So with my actor feat, I receive advantage on deception checks. I get a 27.
You see the form of the ghost, the heart flares for a moment, and you see the ghostly form perform a salute, raising their fists to their chest, and you hear the voice cry out, "Commander on the base!" And there's sort of the flickering flame form parts as the wisps of the ghost salute you and present the way forward.
I turn back to Greta and the others, and I nod for them to also sound off.
They all salute, and you can see that some of that Tressa has actually, like, her skin's going pale, and she says, "That's." She almost has to stop herself from gasping, but she keeps it together. You can see that in the faces of the Hooded Lanterns, they recognize the face of who this ghost is.
Be steady, Lanterns. We are going in.
They walk past, and one of the Lanterns whispers out, "It's good to see you, Stan."
So much. So they let us in. They've parted. As I want to walk in formation just into the beginnings of the courtyard. I do not want to go much further past the front gate. Oop. And I'm gonna shine my light around as I speak.
Okay.
Lanterns, give me your ears.
As you shine the lantern about the courtyard, you can see the forms of the other spirits illuminated, and it's almost like the entire courtyard comes to unlife. Like a whole other scene is seen of all these spirits, of all the Hooded Lanterns who have given their lives over the years, still keeping their vigil, still keeping their watch over the walls of the garrison. And several of them all salute, and you hear these. It's still just whispers almost, but it's that cry of, like, "Commander in the garrison! Lord Commander!" They cry out.
Lanterns, you defend this place well. Many rattlings stand beneath my feet, and I am proud to say that it is because of your swords. Huzzah!
Okay, give me a persuasion check. I'll give you advantage thanks to actor.
Okay. That's big. I get a 14.
The ghosts, several of them flutter and falter, and you hear, and one of the spirits that's near you looks for a moment like it turns back up to you and says, "No, something's wrong, Commander. Something's wrong with me." There's one of the spirits that is walking along the walkway around the side of the courtyard of the base, comes to you and says, "Commander, I can't feel myself. What's wrong? What's happened to me?"
Be steady, son. You are in the ranks of the Hooded Lanterns. You are in one of the most dangerous places in the world, and you have held steady.
The spirit, you can barely make out the outlines of their face. They bring their hand in the lantern light to their forehead, and they reach out and they gasp, "Commander, something's wrong!" And they reach out towards you, getting a 20 to hit you.
Do I see it happening? Like, do I see them attacking me?
I'm using an attack to represent this, but they're almost like reaching out as if they want your help. Like, you know when someone desperately grabs you because there's someone that's drowning and they grab onto whatever they can grab because that's all you can do when you're drowning.
Okay.
Like a spirit. It's like this spirit knows that it reaches out towards you, almost grasping at you.
Yeah, 20 hits.
All right, you suffer 18 points of necrotic damage as the spirit it tries to grab you. And it actually moves, its hands move through your body, and as it rips into you, it's like it's ripping into your own spirit, and you feel something. And it looks and as it rips into you, there's this moment of confusion that comes on its face, and it says for a moment, "You're not the commander."
I look deep into the soldier's eyes. "I am your Lord Commander, and you will stand at attention." And I cast Suggestion.
Okay. What is the saving throw DC?
It is a 19 Wisdom.
Okay, well, I get a natural 1. And interestingly, I'm not immune to being charmed. Okay. The spirit, the magic of your spell enthralls the spirit as it comes under your charm, and it salutes you, but there's something stalting and jittering in its body as it obeys your command.
"Now listen up. I need all eyes on me. You have done a great service for," and I start like pacing in like a 5-foot space back and forth, buying time. So I begin my long-winded speech. "Now, as Lieutenant Commander, I have seen many, many battles, to say the least. Some of the first times that I was in Drakkenheim."
Several of the spirits begin coming from their posts to listen to what you say, standing at attention as when the Lord Commander would address the troops in the garrison. As this happens, Wilhelm and Rudy, what are you doing?
Hearing the speech break out, is this a trap door on the top here?
It is. With Wrath's speech and him shining the lantern light, you can actually see that there are several more of the soldiers but they've come to the edge of this post and are paying attention to him. I'm
gonna tap Rudy. I'm gonna kind of like eyeball to her, point at the hatch, and I'm going to then, as quietly as I can, hop over the battlements, move towards the hatch, and try to, as carefully and quietly as possible, lift it open.
Okay. Give me a stealth check.
That's going to be 25.
The hatch opens. You can see the ladder leading down to the commander's chambers.
I'm going to hop down to the first rings of the lantern, or rings of the ladder, and in my inventory I have a hooded lantern, so I'm actually going to pull that out and light it and shine it down below me. Okay.
As you shine it down below, I will bring us to another level here. Okay. Give it a sec to load. Sorry. Yes. Okay. So the ladder leads down to here from above. And these are the quarters of the garrison. And you can see that there are two, illuminated by the light of your lantern, there are two spirits standing flanking either side of the door to the commander's quarters. There's the staircase going down, and this room here that the ladder comes down to is part guard chamber, part kind of lounge, right? And you can see that it is showing signs of disuse, because even in the time when the hooded lanterns occupied this fortress, these rooms weren't used for their original purpose that they were used before the city was destroyed, because the haze is still above the ground. So there's what would have been a chamber that would have been appointed with perhaps some food and some provisions, and a rather cozy chamber with a fireplace and a table and carpets and still some supplies, is really now more of a dusty, disused room. And in fact, you can see that there is still there's a padlock and several wooden bars that have been put across the Lord Commander's chamber itself.
From the top of the ladder, I'm going to wait for Rudy to catch up and have us go in together.
Okay. As Rudy catches up and the two of you come down the stairs, you hear the spirits whisper, "Halt! Who goes there?" And that's where we're going to take our break. And we are back from our short rest. We have restocked on all of our consumables, filled up our potions, recovered our hit points, and we're going to play some more D&D. So, when last we left off, Wilhelm, you and Rudy had descended into the first level of the top level of the Lord Commander's Tower. You come down the ladder into the sitting room outside the Lord Commander's chambers. And in the light of the lantern, as it fills into the chamber, as you step down the ladder, one of the spirits, wisps of the flame catching along its ethereal form, turns to you and says, "Halt! Who goes there?"
And I step in front of you, Wilhelm, and I say, "I am Captain Rudy Whitaker of the Octenwald Irregulars, and you are addressing your future king of Drakkenheim, Wilhelm von Kessel. Salute him, soldiers."
Okay, give me an intimidation check.
8.
Chop their heads off.
A look of rage and confusion turns over the soldiers, and they say, and one says, "What? No, the king is the king!" And there's confusion and pain, and they cry, and one of them says, I gave my life for them. I gave my life for the Von Kessels. I'm dead because of them." And they fly into, and all of a sudden the flames from the lantern light burst upon, catch and like spark, and their forms become blazing, vengeful ghosts that draw blades of spectral fire. You two can roll for initiative.
Oh.
I don't think it worked, Rudy.
I think I can use that. Okay.
You need a crown. You can't have an eye patch in the. This is why we need the regal
where was
gear.
This roll a second ago. Gosh.
All right, Rudy.
17.
Okay, Wilhelm.
19.
All right, Wilhelm, you actually have the drop on the situation. What do you want to do?
All right, let me just see here. These creatures definitely seem hostile at this moment. Yeah.
They have drawn their blades and are turning them towards you. You can see the pain and confusion visible in their faces.
Well, panache seems less likely at this point. I'm going to set my lantern down on the ground so that it is illuminating them. And I draw my blade and I say, "It's time to re-murder these ghosts." And I mean, if they're going to draw their blades on me, I'm going to fight them. They're just two. The ones outside don't know this is happening, right? So I'm going to step forward and
He says to himself.
I said to Rudy.
Oh, yeah.
Rudy's there. And I'm going to drive my blade towards the glowing heart of this first ghost.
Okay. And you have a magic sword, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
That is going to be 26 to hit.
The blade catches through its magic on whatever binding force holds this creature to the mortal world.
And that is going to be 16 damage.
Okay. Is that including sneak attack?
Yeah.
Ooh, that was not a good one. Okay.
No dice was above a 3, and most of them were lower than that.
Ooh, gross.
Yeah, that was gross.
It's okay. Everything helps.
Okay.
I've never stabbed a ghost before.
Well, now there's a first time for everything. Anything else you'd like to do, Wilhelm?
Yeah, I'm going to draw my crossbow out, and as I pull my blade out of the heart, I'm going to attempt to shoot the creature again. This time only getting a 14.
It's enough.
To hit.
The bolt pierces its spectral form.
That's going to be another 10 damage.
Okay.
Nice.
The tethers are weakening around this spirit, but it still holds to the mortal world. Rudy, it's your turn.
All right, Houdini's gonna come up beside this guy. I'm gonna come up here and as well, and I say,
you can't move there because there's a solid wall.
"Oh, there's a solid wall." Oops.
Yeah.
Is there a table there?
Yeah, you could move basically like that if you didn't want to move over the table.
I think I can move. Yeah, around.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm gonna go for the guy in front of Wilhelm as I say, "How How dare you draw your weapons against the future king of Drakkenheim? How dare you dishonor your duty? And I try to hit him with my wow. Not a very good roll at all. 10.
Your axe glides through the air where the form of the creature should be, but catches nothing.
And I, on my backswing, try again.
Because you didn't aim for the head. You went for the
14.
body.
This time the backswing does catch on to something.
All right. 27 damage.
The spectral form discorporates and dissolves. As it does so, the leaving behind only a thin layer of ectoplasm, and you hear the spirit pulled out, and it, whatever constituted remains of it, rush out the windows and arrow slits.
And for my bonus action, I'm going to use my great weapon master attack since I reduced it to 0. And I cleave towards the other one saying, "Will you two dishonor your duty?" And I get 17 to hit.
Also a hit.
For 28 damage.
All right. That does not fell it, but its spiritual form crumples underneath it. But nevertheless, doggedly, it draws its blade back towards you, Rudy, getting a 22 to hit with its first attack and an 11 with the second.
The first hits.
Okay.
I have no more first level spells.
Okay.
No shield.
You take a total of 14 necrotic damage from the attack.
Ooh.
Whee!
Wrath, in the courtyard, you hear a low moaning and a howl as the spirit, as lights flicker and flash in the commander's tower, and you see this happening. And so if we go over to you, sorry, it's going to be a little bit blurred out over here because of the perspective, but we'll go over to you over here nonetheless. And the spirits begin to shudder, almost in response to something happening, and they feel this, there's like a moment, a pang of realization in many of the eyes of the various spirits. And you see a flicker of energy, this spectral fire gurgle and burp in the delirium sludge in the center of the courtyard.
As I was saying, the grit, the determination. You have held this place for many years, against all odds. Now I ask you one more time to do one more mission. But I'm going to look into this sludge thing. What's happening? Is it escalating? Is it escalating?
Okay, you can give me a perception or arcana check.
I'm not that good at arcana. I have a better chance of just looking at something than knowing if it's magic. 16.
There was a ripple in the air, and as you look about, you can see that there's a tangible gathering of ectoplasmic goo in the delirium sludge. Something, there's bits of delirium crystals around the edges of it. There's some sort of mass in and amongst the sludge there. In the meantime, the various hooded lanterns in the area, their spirits, They look disturbed. And another turns to you and says, Commander, something's wrong. I can't remember what happened yesterday. What happened yesterday? How did I get here?
Look, son. You've been here a long time. And the truth is that this place in the barracks, it is time that we gave it up. We must move on.
What? What do you mean, move on?
Our foothold in this city is established. You have killed many creatures. You have done your duty, son. I have one last mission for you. And it's to leave this place. You are relieved. It is time for you to go.
Give me a persuasion check.
$22.
The soldier looks at you and says, Commander, I'm dead, aren't I?
You are, son. And you died doing one of the bravest things that we could have ever asked from you. It was an honor to know you in life and serve with you until death.
Give me a deception check.
20.
Commander, was I a good soldier?
You were the best.
The spirit.
Look around. Look around. Look at those to your left and those to your right. You are the best that this world could have had. This city deserves nothing less than you, and you have served your time, and it is time that you moved on. All of you, we owe you our lives. The people of this city owe you their lives. And I know I don't have the greatest track record, but it was an honor.
Many of the spirits look up and they say, another one says, so, Commander, I can go?
What's your name, soldier?
My name's Rutger, Commander.
Rutger. And you are relieved.
Another spirit comes up to you. It's the spirit of Sten. It says, Commander, you'll take care of my boy, right?
What's your name, soldier?
It's Sten.
Sten. Bright eyes, curiosity. Everything we want. He's gonna make a fine commander one day.
Several of the spirits lay down their weapons and they begin walking out the gate. And as they do so, their spectral essence dissipates. We go now back to Wilhelm.
Smash cut to Wilhelm, who charges at this ghost, blade drawn, and yells, "You coward!" and drives his blade into this ghost.
Okay.
That's gonna be a 27 to hit.
It hits.
Yeah. I would hope so. All right. And do I have sneak attack on that? Yeah, Rudy's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're beating on this ghost. I feel bad for it.
That's 32 damage.
Well, whatever end that spirit has, that's
As I drive my blade into his heart, I yell, "You have let us all down, soldier! You are nothing!" And I kick his ghost off of the end of my blade.
Terrible deaths. in this life.
Ectoplasm all over your boot, your sword.
Yeah,
you're wiping it up.
the ectoplasm splashes all over me as I let out like a rageful yell, and I just stop. I'm like, sorry, Rudy. Turns out I'm not a fan of ghosts.
Just hate ghosts so much.
Ghosts, they shouldn't be here. It just creeps me out.
Do you think we overdid it a bit? I mean, we went a bit fierce on those two men.
We tried to talk to them and they just drew their blades immediately. They're betrayers. Of
the royalty of Drakkenheim, I understand. Like, in life or death, that would not be acceptable, but...
Well, I hope Wrath is having a better time out there. Anyways, let's continue slaughtering our way through these men.
okay.
We're gonna set them to rest. Set them to rest. That's what we're gonna tell ourselves.
Final resting place.
I've sent them back to the grave.
Okay, so with that, we can leave initiative order. Wilhelm and Rudy, what are the two of you going to do now?
I
down these stairs.
Heading down the stairs.
Okay. You head down to the lower level where the garrison offices are. Coming down the stairs, you are in a smaller chamber here, which once again, you can see that there's several shelves that have stacks of books, which it looks like the books that are on these shelves might be the guards' payroll from before the meteor struck. There is another door here that is similarly boarded up and padlocked over, and the stairs leading down.
I'm just going to make a break right for the stairs and keep heading down. I don't know what's happening out in the courtyard, so I still think we're under a time crunch. Wrath is buying us time, so I just got to figure out if this garrison is usable.
Mission,
Okay.
love it.
As you come down, the next chamber that you come down into is the war room. This chamber, unlike the others, shows signs that it was used more recently. There are still several melted down candles that are here, and there's a large table that is covered over with maps of Drakkenheim, and even plastered all over the walls are various scouting reports and recent scribbles, missives, missions, and various bits of several old plans. On the opposite side of the room is the crested dragon's head, as a crested dragon's head and the banners of the hooded lanterns in front of a large and impressive commander's chair. There are doorways on this level that lead out onto the battlements of the walls, and another set of stairs going down.
And just a quick glance, do we see anything that might have been, you said it was recently used, that were like, happen to be rattling plans?
If you want to take time and search through, certainly you might be able to determine that, but by the quickest glance, give me a perception check.
22.
Nothing here looks like rattling scribbles. but there are very noticeable signs that someone was in here and that things have been taken.
No scribbles, but are there scritches?
No scribbles, no scritches, but definitely some signs that someone might have swiped a few bits of critical information.
Is there a new rat named Swipes? That's who we're looking for.
That actually makes a lot of sense. That tracks.
I mean, might be a human stealing this information.
I'm gonna keep heading to the stairs. I'm determined.
I continue behind you.
Okay, well, with that, you are now down at the ground level of the garrison itself, and as you come down the stairs, there are two more spirits, but these two are slowly have laid down their arms, and they walk through the walls of the exit, as if something is calling them to let go. This is the meeting hall down here. It's a large pillared chamber with another set of stairs leading down, and these are the doors that would lead out to the courtyard and the mantle place opposite.
Oh, that was convenient. Those ghosts just left right when we got down here.
Wrath must be doing a good job drawing him out.
Oh, he is an excellent storyteller. I'm gonna keep heading down.
Same.
Okay. You rush down the stairs. One final level. Okay, sorry. Just give me one moment.
I imagine we're like hopping every like couple stairs. When you like grabbing a big stairs and like
bounding down the stairs.
How many somersaults have you done?
I have done at least 4.
Yeah, couple cartwheels,
few wall runs,
parkour,
yelled parkour.
At least a few 360s too. Like if you like a 360 from like the 5th step, you
triple axle,
bounding down the stairs
steadily.
Okay, you bound down the stairs to the final ground floor. And as you come down the stairs, there is a musty, slightly putrid stench in the air. But one that is cooler than the air above. You see in front of you, and I'm just gonna hide. Sorry, I forgot to hide all that. There we go. No looking ahead.
We didn't see anything.
Yeah. So you see ahead of you here that there are 3 doorways. Okay. There's a smaller, the doors on the left and right, both appear to be, both are reinforced wooden doors bound in irons, but the center door is made of heavy metal, and it is clearly locked and bound and barred across from this side.
That's what we were looking for. If I just to make sure, we were looking for this metal door that was bound. That's our sign that everything's good.
It looks to be intact, yes.
I'm gonna quickly run up to the door and just give it a shake. Lightly try to open it. I'm not gonna force anything. I just want to make sure it's tight.
Right over here is the machinery that actually opens it. So there is a great clockwork wheel that opens it up, and that you would actually have to crank to pull this open. You can see the apparatus of the chains that would lift this doorway up and open.
Well,
I go over to it and I start to. You're trying to jimmy this door open, I'm just like.
Well, are we trying to open it, or are we just making sure it's still closed?
Well, we want to see if it opens, don't we?
I suppose we do, yes.
I mean, we don't want to have to break this door because then it's not secure.
Correct, I guess. Yeah, Rudy, you're right.
Okay. You crank the door, and it takes some effort to open it up, and it opens up into another short hallway that ends in another identical door of similar construction. But down this way, there is no clear crank that opens this doorway up.
I'm going to walk forward, and I would like to examine the door to see if I can make out any sort of opening mechanism.
Give me a investigation check.
That's going to be 19.
What you're seeing here is this is a double lock of a prison. Okay? So the doorway, essentially, this is a way of having two sets of doors to stop prisoners from getting out. So it's possible, and what you see is that this hallway before you is sealed. What you can kind of surmise is that the way that this chamber would probably work is that there would be a team that would open one door, close one door, then they open the other one to make sure that it was always kept secure. Essentially a double set of doors, so that, if you kind of think of like an airlock, right? Basically, they'd open one door, close the other one, and so that they would never be both open at the same time.
So is it the same mechanism, but the first door needs to be closed? Is that kind of what I'm gathering, or do I think there's another mechanism somewhere?
You could examine the previous apparatus.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go do that.
Yeah, so what you can actually see now clearer here is that there's two interlocking sets of wheels that manipulate this, right? So it looks like just cranking one set of them opens the first door only. And that once the first one is open, it actually has to be closed again for the second one to open back up again.
All right, Rudy, you know what we have to do.
What do we have to do?
I'm going to walk back to the second door and nod to Rudy.
You want me to lock you in there? What if
You're
someone comes at you?
You're going to open it back up. It was sealed. We need to check.
What if there's something sealed inside?
I'm not strong enough to crank that thing.
Aren't you?
I don't know, maybe. It'll be fine, Rudy. We need to check and make sure it's sealed and safe. And the only way to do that is to have somebody operating the door out there.
Listen, how about this? You come out here, I'll send Houdini in, and Houdini can check it out. And I can go through Houdini's eyes.
I suppose that's safer.
Okay.
I mean, you are the future king. I gotta make sure I'm not sending you into some unknown danger on your own. If we were going in together, it'd be a different story, but...
I like to lead by example.
I know.
Meanwhile, Wrath, back over and up to you, over here. The last of the spirits come up to you, and you address them one by one, and many of the hooded lanterns that are with you, they also address their friends and those that they recognize as the spirits depart one by one out the front gates.
Are there any? I want to know if there's any that look. To those of you who wish to go home, now is the time. For those of you who look once more to serve your king and serve your country, I do have one final mission. If you have not found your rest, beneath Drakkenheim Castle, in the throne room, there is the steward He controls the space. If you look for a way to serve your city once more, you will head there and you will wait for my command and you will defend it against the rattling infestation.
Bruce looks at you and says, "Very good. I will find these spirits useful for my purposes."
And back to Bruce. Yes, it is one thing to hold the key, but we must control the gateway.
A loyal spirit is useful, even in death. With that, a few of the spirits disperse, but you see just the faintest glimmer of several of the soldiers walking up towards Castle Draken.
Good.
What does the pit look like? What's happening in the pit?
There is a gurgling in the pit.
Great.
But it seems that perhaps not sufficient soul energy has been fed to whatever is gurgling in the pit to cause it to animate, thanks to some crafty players outsmarting their dungeon master.
I turn to Teresa, Greta, and Simon. You three begin the securing of the upper walls. The others comb the area with your lanterns. Make sure there are no spirits left. But stay away from the pool. You do not want to touch anything glowing or gurgling. It is just common sense. It is common knowledge. I shouldn't have to repeat myself, but I feel that there's some of you that might be inclined to touch things. Don't.
The soldiers always reflectively, they're like, "Yes, Commander." You're like putting on the airs, and then someone's like, "Wait." And then you see two of the other hooded lanterns going to inspect things. They're like, "No, that's not actually the Lord Commander. That's just the weird mage."
It's a ruse. In their minds, I will convey, just in case anyone's watching, please stay back. We must wait for the signal from the other two to make sure this place is safe. And if it is, we will light the beacon and send the flares.
Luther says there was a commotion in the commander's tower. Should we check things out over there?
Mm-hmm. I have not heard the call sign, so those two are very capable. They would have handled themselves
very well.
We wait close by. Stay close, but just please, whatever you do, that goo is really close to the path. Just stay away from the goo.
Yeah, we'll stay away in the goo. Another says we don't want to end up like Sten.
Yeah, like it's just like, why did you touch that, man?
All right, so you're gonna send Houdini into the.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't. If something happens to you, you get grabbed, Wilhelm. I can't get you out, regardless, because of the way these gates work.
I know you're just looking out for me. I just felt really brave.
Okay.
We know you're brave. Don't worry.
Are you looking through Houdini's eyes?
First, I'm gonna. Do we open the gate first, or Wilhelm? Can you open this? Can you open it?
Yeah, I'm gonna walk up and I'm gonna try.
And then I peer through his eyes.
Okay, so you close the first door and open the second one, because that's the way the mechanism works, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does look like there is a way to open them both up at the same time.
Oh.
Right.
I thought this whole thing was to not do that.
That it occurs to you that doing that might compromise the integrity of whatever's happened here.
No good then. No.
Yeah.
We want integrity is what we want.
It's integral.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Wilhelm,
So I did go through Houdini's eyes.
Okay, the gate opens halfway, and looking through Houdini's eyes, you see the dark hallway of the prison cells. There's a set of stairs leading immediately down, and as the door opens halfway up, a set of glowing yellow eyes appears in the darkness and dives towards Houdini with a growl. And Houdini is no more.
Do I see through Houdini's eyes what eats Houdini before?
It looked like a very corporeal and very crazed hooded lantern.
Rudy, one of us has to go in there. As your king, I think it's my job to go in there.
I don't think so.
No?
You know
Rudy,
what? Maybe,
I can't ask you to go in there by yourself.
I'm wondering if we need some support in this. Should we go get Wrath?
With all those ghosts outside?
You're right.
No,
Listen, I will go in. You need to keep an eye out here, and you need to be able to go get his help if something happens to me. All right?
All right. Remember the code word.
Potatoes.
Yes.
It's not clear to you that you could hear someone on the other side of this. Just to clarify, Rudy, when you were there, you heard the screech of this creature that grabbed Houdini through Houdini's senses, but you could not physically hear it happen on your side.
Rudy, once I lock you in there,
I'm going to smash it. That's what I do. I behead the thing. Obviously, it ate Houdini, so it has a mouth and a head, I assume.
are you sure?
Worst comes to worst, I can come out and you can lock that door, no?
For all we know, the creature could have moved into the room beyond this first door.
Yeah. And then we both fight it. There we go.
Let's find out. And I start opening closing the second door, opening the first door.
And I'm ready.
Okay. As you open the doorway once more, that is indeed what you see. Opening the doorway, you see before you an emaciated hooded lantern soldier. Their face is sallow, and bits of their flesh are almost hanging off their bones. As you can see, their distended belly, they look like they have starved to death. Their nails are long and yellowed, and their eyes glow with an eerie yellow light. All around their mouth is just blood, and their hands are caked with blood as well as it dives towards you with fiendish vigor. We'll keep the initiative that you rolled before. I'll just roll for this one. But Wilhelm, you will get to go first.
All right. I leap forward and attempt to drive my blade into its bloody mouth.
Okay.
That's going to be a 28, which I'm going to assume hits.
It is indeed a hit.
Just shy of 30.
32 damage.
You drive your blade into it, and it doesn't even respond to the stab wound. It just holds fast.
I pull the blade out, I step back, and I fire a crossbow bolt at it. Getting a natural 1.
Okay, that's
So-
a miss.
Fire the crossbow, it sticks into the wall next to it.
It's this creature's turn. It reaches forward to bite at you, Wilhelm.
I moved back.
It moves to follow.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
It hunts you.
Yeah, it comes forward with its bite, and its claws, getting a 19 with the bite and an 11 with the claws.
The bite hits. Where's my new armor?
Okay, Wilhelm, you take 14 points of piercing damage, and as you do, you feel your essence being drained out of your body. Roll a d4.
Am I able to half that damage, by the way?
Yep.
Cool. Rolling a d4. That's going to be a 3.
You lose 3 points of charisma.
Oh.
Oh.
Rudy, it is your turn.
Oh, I start trying to cut this thing's head off. You're lucky. 15 to hit.
That is a miss.
Ooh, okay. Second one, 17 to hit.
That one does hit.
24 damage.
Okay.
Nice.
It still stands despite the
Yeah.
grievous wounds.
I'm gonna action surge actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
20 to hit
Also a hit.
or 20. Oh no, that's 9. 27 damage
Okay.
and 16 to hit.
That one is a hit.
22 damage.
Alrighty.
Holy
Despite
moly.
being savaged as your axe wails down upon it, it still stands. Bleeding with bits of flesh falling off of it as it reaches and grasps, trying to get one more bite out of Wilhelm. Wilhelm, we come back to you.
As it lunges towards me, I am going to try to battle it off with my blade. Getting only a 12 to hit.
As you try to stab with your blade in trying to defend yourself, as it tries to bite another piece out of you, you're not able to find purchase.
All right. This time I'm going to back up so that I'm going to move back to this corner here. I put the table in between me and it.
Yep.
And then I'm going to fire a shot at it.
Okay.
This time it's going to be a 25 to hit.
That's a hit.
And I'm going to sneak attack with my
Nice.
crossbow.
Yeah.
Get it.
These D6s are not doing me favors. 22 damage.
With a swift shot in the back of the head, it collapses dead.
Nice.
Oh,
And you wanted to be in the same room with only that thing?
in retrospect, everything worked out much better the way it did. I think, Rudy, maybe we should go see what Wrath's up to.
I mean, those ghosts were a little bit easier to dispatch, so I mean, I wouldn't mind
I'm
trying
feeling
that if versus the thing we just fought.
I feel like I'm out of my groove here. I've lost my mojo. I feel out of sorts. That bite, I feel weird.
You do seem a little pale and serious.
Do I seem less charming?
Actually, a little bit, yeah. like 3 times less charming.
All right, let's go see if Wrath is okay.
All right. I mean,
All
it's
right.
like you lost your sparkle a little. It's good.
I don't feel sparkly.
You head back up the stairs and quite shockingly bump into Greta of the Hooded Lanterns on your way, as it looks like Wrath has somehow cleared out the rest of this area, and the Hooded Lanterns call out to one another. You with a short clamor, several of the lanterns call you over, Wrath, and you are all able to reconnoiter together in the hallway of the ground floor of the tower.
What did you find? I mean, sorry. What did you find out?
We did find the basement is still sealed off, but there are hooded lanterns in there that are not ghosts, and they're not people anymore either. And I think we need the full force. If everything's... Wrath, Rudy and I killed 2 of the ghosts. Did you kill the rest of them?
I released them from their duties. These creatures were stuck. I believe we have met others like this. It must be a delirium disturbance, but the sight of their former Lord Commander and Lieutenant Commander was enough to convince them to be on their way.
Is this just a Wrath way of saying that you killed them? Because if so, just say you killed them, man.
No, they serve other purposes now. They will
Always so
likely
cryptic.
move through the streets, killing ratlings, knowing their true nature.
Great. We might need you and
I
the
don't like you for some reason, Wilhelm, and I don't know why. You're not as charming. There's something off about you.
Wrath, shut it.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean-
it. That's it. There's just you're usually
He did get bit by something down there, and all of a sudden he just became less likable. I don't know.
There's a horrible monster down there. It bit me. I'm worried that there's more. Lanterns, we need you as well. We need everybody. Everybody downstairs. Listen,
How do we know if the stockades are safe? Are they safe?
they seem secure. We need to make sure they're safe by killing any other monsters down there.
Well, then we should probably call for the reinforcements.
Should we use our flare?
What do you suppose? Who's the highest ranking beyond us? Who's the highest ranking lantern?
Of the soldiers here, Simon would probably be the highest ranked amongst them. But they're all of these ones as veterans of so many battles. They really don't kind of think like they really would answer to someone like Petra or Ansem most normally. So you would be their highest ranking ones in these cases.
Raph, Rudy and I took care of one. If we have 6 more people plus you, I'm pretty sure we can clear this out quickly.
Yes, I agree. We should call for the reinforcements and then head down there and take care of the rest of this while they move in to secure the building. Maybe leaving 2 up here as a lookout for the approach.
Are you sure the courtyard's safe?
Yes, just I don't know why I feel compelled to tell everyone, just don't touch the goo. There's just so much goo there, and I have a really strong feeling that they may touch it.
All right, so
the
we'll
other
send a signal.
The other lanterns report. We've checked the other towers. It's a quick glance, but It looks like most of the rest of the garrison is clear. There's a lot of rattling corpses around, but it seems like they were destroyed by the ghosts of our former companions.
Interesting.
Good. Shall we send the signal then and be on our merry way?
Yes.
And it was green?
Yep.
Green
Alright.
means go.
We send the flare.
And I turn to the 6 lanterns before we head downstairs, and I say, listen, we're going to be fighting your comrades, but they are going to be twisted and evil. And if you care about your former comrades, then let's help put them to rest.
Should we leave one person upstairs? I think. Just to direct the other soldiers.
Greta, we have to protect Greta.
Okay.
Greta, leave her upstairs.
She can
Point the other soldiers in the direction.
let them know that like things are safe and to start to take the barracks.
One of the soldiers, Luther, says, this doesn't bode well. If something's happened to our other companions that are down there, what if the whole thing is contaminated? Ah, that's a cat.
Don't mind that.
Well, the air does seem fresher down here. Perhaps they just wandered in.
They did not change to ghosts like their comrades.
But he is right. Why would a delirium-infected creature be beyond the sealed doors?
Volkner speaks. Because you can't get out from the inside. The door only opens from this side.
But if somebody changed past those doors...
When we left, says Luther, I don't know who was the last to leave, but we closed these doors. If we left anyone behind down there, they would have been trapped there for weeks.
These are not creatures of delirium. They are creatures of opportunity.
Is it possible that creatures like this could form regardless, like without the haze or delirium?
Well, you have the
magic.
corpse of the creature.
Yeah, so we're all standing around the corpse.
Well, what do we know? We know that this place isn't like free of. It's just that it's enough of a break that they can do like longer stints, right? It's not like if you lived here for 10 years, you wouldn't have any contamination.
True. I'm gonna throw this out there. Having now been traveling for months dealing with delirium-specific monsters, I am proficient in survival and investigation.
Okay.
Is there something I can do? Like, can I run an examination on the creature to see if I can determine if it's delirium or something else?
Yeah. Give me an investigation check.
That's going to be 27.
As you turn the creature over and look at it, its mouth is covered in blood, and its claws are too. It's dried, caked blood, as if it was eating a kill. And the creature looks emaciated, except for its pot belly.
This hooded lantern was starving and probably ate delirium-infused rats that had gotten in.
There's one way to find out, and I take out a knife. Hand me a knife. I need a knife.
Hand you an axe.
I hand you a dagger.
One of you can do it. That's gross. I don't want to touch it.
You want me to open it up?
Open the belly.
All right, I slice the blade across.
The contents
Stand
of its
back!
gut spill out. Most of it is undescribable and chewed meat. But the unmistakable shape of several fingers, toes, and an ear, all human, are within it.
Cannibalism. I mean, I know folklore about how cannibalism can turn people into monsters, even beyond death. Does that ring true in D&D world? That's like
There are tales of those who do. That in cases, those trapped can be turned to such dark things, and that alone can be enough to animate one's body into undeath.
That means that this place is still secure, luckily, but it means that we have different types of monsters on our hands, and we need to clear them out as quickly as possible.
Agreed.
With the lanterns drawing ready, we can open the doors and clear the rooms one by one.
One of the lanterns should stay behind to close the first door and open the second, but the rest of us should move forward.
The lanterns close the doors and open the doors. And the group of you is going to go ahead?
Yeah, maybe with 3 of the lanterns. Leave 2.
Yeah. In case something happens out there.
We don't want to get trapped. Oh gosh.
Okay. Don't conceal, reveal.
I mean, we did also shoot the flare, so there is reinforcements coming.
Oh yeah, true.
Heading down the stairs and into the prison cells. The prison cells down here have been repurposed by the Hooded Lanterns into a barracks. For you can actually... The air down here is stale, but clean. And as you come down, you see a grisly sight before you. The scattered remains of perhaps 4 other bodies, gnawed almost to the bone, are scattered amongst here. And in the midst of the 4 bodies are 4 straws of varying lengths.
Oh. Bummer.
I mean, gotta do what I gotta do to survive, I guess.
I guess it's, this is horribly tragic, and I'm glad that I'm glad that not all of the lanterns are here to see what's happened. I feel bad for what's become of them.
I want to travel further down, kind of peeking in each cell with my axe at the ready, just in case there's anybody ready to pop out.
I'm gonna trail behind.
Yeah. You can head down to the end of the cells, and at the end of the hall, it actually extends down to another set of stairs. That this cell block, basically, there's several blocks underneath it and extending around. All in all, probably about 300 prisoners. Each of those cell rooms has been repurposed with a bunk so that 4 people could sleep here, right? In each room, basically. So this entire block that you're looking at would have been used to sleep like almost 50 people. And so beneath the garrison, there is basically 4 more levels of this, enough to sleep maybe, if you really pushed it, like 200 or 300 people, right? With the way the Hooded Lanterns have repurposed it. As you head down, and fortunately, it doesn't look like anyone was stuck anywhere else. It looked like these 4 were unfortunately left behind and trapped here.
And there was only the one monster, so the rest of the area is clear. along the way we check, the air feels fresh the whole time. There's no...
Yeah, the air is fresh and clean, and there is a cistern of the water coming up from some aquifer. How the air gets in here, you're not really quite sure, but it's stayed sealed and safe.
Well, after our check, I suppose we can go back and reconvene with the lanterns.
There are 2 other doors, correct?
Back at the entrance, yeah.
We must check them.
Indeed.
The other areas that are up here, these are the office, and over here is the storeroom, where there are tons and tons of carefully packed supplies and provisions. Ample food.
Oh.
This is great. And also, apparently, Rudy and I killed the only monster and then got reinforcements and support. Thank you all for coming.
I mean, they did take care of all the ghosts, so.
Incredible work. I guess back to the surface and we wait for the rest of them to show up.
All right.
Agreed.
With a crash, the thunderous hooves of the cavalry that have come charging in to bring as many troops as quickly as possible to the garrison, and thunderous wagons of the engineering team has already taken up around the courtyard. You rendezvous with the other commanders, with the lieutenant commander and who is already commanding the soldiers to begin the work of rebuilding the gates and getting things up and running. As you emerge from the garrison keep, the Lieutenant Elias Drexel comes right up to the 3 of you. That went better than expected.
I'm not sure exactly what happened, but the ghosts seemed... Wrath destroyed them all.
There were ghosts?
Right, sorry, yes. The whole place infected with ghosts. It was awful.
Oh, the hidden lanterns.
Yes, your former comrades were trapped here, bound. I assume it has something to do with this gurgly pool in the middle. It's very Arcana-ish.
I may have to send for Eldritch Runeweaver and the mages of the Academy to help us clear this sludge out of here. But in the meanwhile, the engineers will get to work making sure that there's a barricade around it so that no one accidentally touches it. We've seen what happens to people when they do. What about the stockade? Is it still functional? Does it still work?
The stockade is intact. We were able to make sure of that. The air down there is still fresh. There was one hooded lantern, not changed by delirium, but changed from cannibalism. I may need specific medical attention. I was bitten by this creature, and it seems to be affecting me.
Very well, my liege. We will see that you are attended to by our chaplains. The effect of the bite from the Moreji will dissipate after a short or long rest, fortunately.
Hooray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would the ointment speed that up at all?
No, it won't.
I'm sure that we could take a long rest in the cannibal basement.
You can get your sparkle back.
You feel really safe down there now.
Yeah, do you guys want to play drawing straws? There were straws down there. No.
Ew, this one's got blood on it.
We'll see that their remains are properly commended to properly taken care of.
One of the actually, yeah, Wilhelm wouldn't know this. I was about to bring up Sten, but
What of the rest of the commander's quarters?
Well, the plan from here is to reestablish the garrison the way we had it a few months ago. My soldiers will begin immediately clearing out the corpses of these ratlings, making sure that there's no residual monsters, and bringing back in new supplies for any food that might have spoiled, or any provisions or anything else that might have gone poorly. What we will do is make sure that you have a chamber within the stockade, and I'll put the guards back on their original rotations to make sure that people can get in and out easily enough.
And Elias, we did see some plans upstairs that had been abandoned, and it looks like they might have been rummaged through. Was there anything of value up there that you think our enemies could use against us?
When the garrison fell, I wasn't here. I was on the attack on the stronghold of the Queen of Thieves when this all went down. So I don't know if any of our soldiers would have scrounged anything up, but very little was brought back to me. It was a pretty brutal retreat. So I don't know. I'll have to go through it and see. If that doesn't bode well, though, the garrison has been undefended beyond whatever spirits or ratlings were here. So if there's any possibility that someone did get in and get through the information that I have, yes, there are things that I kept under lock and key. There were things that would have been kept in the open, though. It's entirely possible that someone could have gotten in. Again, maps, plans, letters, missives. I won't know until I go through it.
All right, I think that should be a priority.
For tonight, though, we'll let the Hooded Lanterns rest, and this is a victory for us.
Indeed it is. We have much to celebrate. This is by holding the garrison and Shepherd's Gate once more, it gives us a massive defensive advantage for when the Illyrians march on the city. We'll be able to... I think that we should still keep a command post at Camp Dawn. Having control of all these defensive locations gives us great operational command going forward, because we'll be able to keep a good reserve of soldiers out at Camp Dawn while rotating them in here. One of the biggest struggles that I had when I was with the city is that we can only garrison about 200 or 300 soldiers and keep them fresh and safe from the haze. And generally speaking, I would try to rotate people out every 2 or 3 days anyways. So this means that they actually have somewhere to go that isn't just our encampments that we used to have in Emberwood Village. It should keep things much tighter.
And also with the added ranks of the Steel Fangs, it makes more sense that we have multiple strongholds. This is a great victory indeed for us, and I feel like the push towards Castle Draken is well underway.
Indeed. Hopefully we'll see what the others have managed to come up with, but we should be able to have all the seals again and be able to move on to Castle Draken in just a few days. And that's where we'll end for tonight.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Next week, we will check in with Veo, Sebastian, and Paluto and see just what they were up to while all this was going down.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I'm sure they've got it under control.
They're fine.
But with this major milestone reached, I think it appropriate that our heroes level up to level 11.
Woo!
Ooh, I have choices to make.
That was big.
So many options.
That
Big
was
fight.
Man, I had something completely like that. There was a whole other encounter there that I was just like, well, this doesn't really make much sense anymore.
Raph, Joe, great job.
Yeah,
Great
and MVP. Like that's yeah. Joe, do you all know what you're gonna do for your level up?
I get extra attack.
I'm going to spend the next week or 2, 3, I don't know, because we're going to the other group. I have some time to think about it, but yeah, we'll see.
I mean, I get my Mystic Arcanum, so what deep secrets and spells
Ooh,
will
that's a level 6 spell.
learn.
Ooh,
It's big time.
What?
It's big
What?
time.
Well, that's a big choice.
I let us know in the comments in the chat what spell you would level 6 spell you would recommend for Wrath.
Yeah. Let us know in the chat, and if you're joining the Discord, feel free to at me if you have any suggestions. I'm all ears, baby.
All cat ears. Yeah. What did Rogues get at level 11? What do you?
I get a feature reliable talent. The only thing that I'm weighing is I've been like brainstorming a possible multi-class for a long time.
Ooh.
But reliable talent is also pretty cool and on point with Wilhelm. Basically anything that I'm proficient in, I can't roll less than a 10.
That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so maybe it's not the time. And then I get another ability score at 12th, so it's really hard. I have a hard time deciding the multi-class ever.
What multi-class are you thinking about?
Well, the way that I see it, there's been a possibility for a while that Wilhelm has been not only fighting alongside Rudy, but basically on the battlefield. He was just a fencer before, a sneaky fencer. Now he's been in battle for so long that I was looking at maybe doing a few levels of fighter.
Ooh.
And there could be some really cool things there, but it's hard to not keep wanting cool abilities in the rogue. It's tough.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we will have to see.
Lots of choices.
Lots of time to think about it. Lots of time to
I
think
just
about your
realized
choices.
how many hits Rudy could get if she does now an attack with her there's action surge.
Yeah, 7 attacks in a turn.
I can do up to 7 if I kill something.
Yeah. Oh, Rudy. Maybe I should just stay a rogue. I don't need to fight. I just need to sneak.
I think Rudy could outdo Veo's damage per turn. Who knows?
Yeah,
Probably.
probably.
Yeah, at this point.
Yeah. Yep. Well, with that, we will wrap things up there for this evening. A big thank you, as always, to our amazing cast, Kelly, Jill, and Joe, for playing tonight.
And a huge thank you to Kyle for all of the work he's doing behind the scenes, editing these videos, and keeping things flowing. And a special thank you to our Dungeon Master, Monty Martin, for running such a great game and going with it. Going with the shenanigans.
The shenanigans.
Yeah, those were shenanigans. That was shenaniganery. The maps that you saw tonight were all made by yours truly. They're based on the maps from the book. They're maps that didn't make it into the book. This is a story people have asked us about. So originally, when we pitched this project to our publisher, we're like, yeah, we'd like to do 25 maps, like 25 maps. And I think we ended up releasing 50. And there were like a bunch more that we wanted to do, but like basically we couldn't do, because like we couldn't do every single one, because like we then had the cartographer, we had Josh Ode then did the cartography on top of what I did in Dungeon Draft, so it really amped up the game of all those maps. So we couldn't end up doing them all, but you know, maybe we'll just have to see, because like I still have like a back catalog of maps that I designed for like other locations, other stuff from Shadows of Drakkenheim. We're gonna have to figure out a way to get these all out to people somehow, like I think down the line, because there's so many more that for this whole world. So yeah, it's a lot of maps. It's yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's more maps than we were ever expecting, and the problem is that Monty just loves making maps, so they just keep coming. But the official maps are still an incredible artwork, incredible amount So I'm just really
and we're gonna
excited
see
that
a
people
lot
are
more
getting
of
their
them.
hands on them.
Yeah, we're gonna see a lot
Yeah.
more of them over the coming little while. And if you did miss out, actually, that's a great point to note. Now, if you head to Drakkenheim.com, if you back the Kickstarter, you've been able to download all this stuff for a little while now. But if you did miss out on the Kickstarter, or if you pre-ordered, you can actually go onto the Ghostfire Gaming store and you can buy your copy of Dungeons of Drakkenheim now. So, all that being said, let's take us out from there. Joe, anything else?
No, I mean, big shout out to obviously Joshua for the cartography, Monty for the changes to the maps, and music by Tabletop Audio. So please support the Kickstarter. It's a great way to keep in touch. And yeah, please check out some of these other amazing creators when you have a chance.
Of course, don't forget to look at the links below for our Teespring store, where you can find all of your favorite Dungeon Juice teachers, including yes, as well as the Shadows of Drakkenheim Troll Killer. Yes, Shadows coming in a sweater as well as a t-shirt and a poster. So check that out at bit.ly/Dungeon Dudes merch.
And of course, you can always check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/dungeon_dudes if you enjoy the work that we do here on Twitch, YouTube, and elsewhere and want to support the channel.
We also have a Discord community that is exclusive for our Patreon, where you can join in on conversations with all of us. You can join in on monthly writers' rooms, submit questions for monthly Q&As. That is all through our Patreon exclusive Discord community. So if you're hopping on our Patreon, make sure to join us there.
And be sure to join us once again. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to tune in next week, and as we decide the fate of Drakkenheim.